I think that's like the big buzzword now. Is like GLP-1. Everyone's using it. Everyone's lying about it, in my eyes.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell me that you've lost 200 pounds in a month by walking. Like, you're not going to tell me that.
No.
It just...
We're very invested in this topic, and just in health and fitness and wellness, and not here to judge, but like just also we're not like we know.
Welcome back to Three Girls, One Office, where we're living, laughing, thriving, sometimes crying, but not today. We are here in Westchester Studios where we do all of our live podcasts. If you've ever thought about doing a podcast or know someone who has thought about it, this is the place to do it, right outside of the Westchester Borough. We are here with Steph and Dee and myself.
Hello.
We've got a super fun topic to talk about today that we're very passionate about. So with that, Dee, tell us what we've got.
Today we're going to talk about social media. Social media, is it too social? Is it has it gotten out of control? And I feel like we can talk about this for days and days and days.
Yeah.
We could.
Do you think that it is out of control?
The quick answer is yes.
Yeah.
The quick answer is yes.
Do you think
For sure.
that we're lacking now any kind of privacy?
I mean, I think some people
Yeah.
put everything out there, so they're choosing to give up their privacy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas some people are a little bit more select about what they put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't put like my kids, for instance, my husband never really wanted to share stuff about like private stuff about like the kids and stuff. So I don't. My kids are always like, "Can't you put us on there?"
Don't you love us?
You know what I mean? But I just don't because I've wanted to. Sometimes I have a cute picture I want to share, but I'm like, it's not worth the argument because he really isn't comfortable with it, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
I get that.
But and the kids really, when they're really little, have no say in it. So yes, in some cases, yeah, like I think you can pick and choose what you share. I don't judge anyone for putting what they want out there. That's their decision. But
I want to see everyone's cute baby.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
do
see
too.
everyone's But my sister
do
is the
too.
same way. They are not comfortable sharing Mila on social media, and she's like,
and
Can you
probably
imagine-
want to, right? Because she's so cute.
she is so cute. But my sister said, can you imagine growing up and like already kind of having like this digital footprint that you had no say whether or not.
That's
and
a good point.
I think when you're posting the cute photos, it's cute. But when you're posting things that your kids are having meltdowns, your kids are behaving in ways that you're like, that's unsafe. I don't think you should like be posting that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's a fine line between posting your cute family photos and like exploiting your children.
Yes.
I think for sure, like when it comes to your family, but I think there's some pros to social media. I think a lot of them. I mean, first off, just to be social, if you're not able to be outside of your home or whatever,
right.
Community, feeling like you belong to something, being able to stay connected with the people that you love and you care about. But again, fine line. I mean, if you're going to post like headed to the ER, you're going to dive into that. Like, I want to know now why you're there because now I'm taking a deep dive into every
Like now
person
I'm
that
worried
knows
about
you.
you, and you.
Yes.
Why would you have time? You're going to the ER, but like, are you hurt? Like, you have time
Yeah.
to post about it.
And then I'm
Drives me nuts.
I'm checking out everyone who's commenting. Then I'm going to their Facebook page to see if they know, and then who said what.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at your kid's
It
friend's
spirals.
son's nephew.
Right.
Spiral.
But I think there's I'm a huge, like, I love TikTok. I love watching TikTok. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a huge thing right now going on with like the GLP-1s and these influencers who are taking them and lying about them. So here's my question. If you put every single thing about your life online, right? You're talking about your family, your husband, your kids, your parents, your siblings, every single thing. And then all of a sudden in 2 months you've lost 100 pounds and you're like, I'm not going to talk about it. That's my privacy.
Yeah.
Do you think, and people get, in an uproar over it, but do you think people deserve an explanation?
That's such.
I mean,
such an
I
interesting
do believe
question.
we have the power of choice of what we want to share.
Totally.
It is probably a little bit, especially like a regular person versus like an influencer. If an influencer is sharing everything and then not sharing that, that to me seems a little bit not authentic to who their true self is. If someone is just sharing, everything about their family life and stuff, but all of a sudden they look thinner and maybe I know they're on it. I mean, it's the power of choice for them, what they want to share. So I think it depends on the actual person posting.
Yeah, if it's just like a Joe Schmo, it's just us.
Yeah.
I also think when you say sharing everything, like I also question that. Are they really sharing everything, or are they sharing like the highlights? Are they
it's a highlight
sharing?
reel.
It's a highlight reel.
Totally.
And like if you're going to share everything. But the highlight reel, it's marketing. It's I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting concept in terms of what's too much and what's not enough when you're depending on who you're targeting.
Yeah. And there's the different platforms I think also are different. Like Facebook, for instance, is a little bit more you're going to, there's more explanation of what's going on with someone, or they might like talk about something going on, ask questions. Some, there's photos too, but it's a lot of it's about what accompanies the photos, the information.
Yep.
I sometimes think that's where I really start to get irritated because I feel like sometimes people use it for a way to get attention and I just don't think it's a positive way to get attention. And like you said, I'm going to the ER, or like sometimes people will say something vague like, I'm ready to, I hate men. I'm having the worst day ever. And like, that's it. Okay, well, why do you hate men? why are you having the worst
What
day
happened?
ever?
We want to know.
What prompts people to put that out there?
Or I'm ready to like,
is it
burn it all down? Like, well, then why? Tell me why.
But they don't.
Or
Give
tell me
the
a little
people what they need to know.
Well, because if you're going to tell us every single thing about your life, why would you put something like that so vague and not say like, I don't know?
Vague things I don't like. If you do that, I'm telling you right now, stop it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. If you're going to share. If you want to keep something private, don't bring it up at all.
Totally.
Maybe just don't post on Facebook that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If you're having a bad day.
I wonder what goes into the process. Like, I'm going to open my phone and I'm going to write, today I don't know, cut my finger. I don't know. Like
what do you want to get from that? Yeah.
Like, I have a public Instagram that is more like accountability for me, documenting my like health and wellness journey.
I love it.
And I made that.
I love it. It's really good, everybody.
It is
I
really
made
good.
that page public because at the time when I created it, I was still in education and I needed some sort of privacy. I needed to kind of separate the two.
Yeah, that was smart.
And now it's just kind of like a word vomit diary. But I share on there like good things, bad things. There's no like
You don't bring up one sentence and then not explain.
No, and I
No.
don't pretend to
You're
be
not like, I'm having the best day ever, but I can't tell you why.
Can you
I know something.
share
I'm eating
the
donuts.
page, or do we not want to share the page?
Yeah, it's called The Factive Space.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like one day, I'm at the gym and I'm working hard, and the next day I'm crying and eating donuts, and it's just. But that's where I was going. Like, I share things on there, but I don't make it perfect because it's not like life is not perfect.
And you don't dangle the carrot,
why
so to
would
speak.
I?
Like if you are going to go on and make a post, you complete the post with the information that you're sharing.
Like, and if someone were to ask me a question, like, I would answer it. Like, I think these influencers get off by like, come back tomorrow or come back, like, whatever. Like, just
tell us.
feel
what you're trying
annoyed.
to say. Yeah, I know. It is.
Yeah.
Now, this might also be another hot button issue, and I won't get too deep into this topic, but I do notice too, a lot of people will put their political beliefs on Facebook and Instagram, and that is everyone's right to share that, but like then you start seeing people arguing within the post.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So on either side, so then people are arguing, and it's like I always want to say, no one has ever I don't know anyone who's politically their mind's ever been changed by someone's Facebook or Instagram post.
That is true.
It might have. The only thing I could say is maybe they read something and they're like, I'm going to research this further. But like, it just ends up being a battle, and like people start fighting and like unfriending and unfollowing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is supposed to be like a fun thing.
right.
I
thought. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like that is what people want to do. I don't really post like that kind of stuff.
No.
Yeah,
like,
I tried to say
If I post something remotely political, it's just like something positive that anyone might be able
Sure.
to feel good about.
I
Because
think you got to be kind of careful too, because certain things can be taken certain ways. So, like the way you say something, because you're typing it and not saying it,
Right.
it can come off the wrong way. So, the social media, the arguing on social media is shocking to me, just because
and the mean and
the
nasty
fighting,
comments.
and then they block them, and then
Yeah.
they put it out there. Of course, I'm here for it. Like I'm watching it all go down.
I love when someone sends me like an Instagram and they're like, go immediately to the comments.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
And most of the time it's really funny
Yes.
stuff, but sometimes it can be downright mean.
yeah,
And sometimes the original post is so ridiculous that I'm like, good. Like,
Yeah.
people,
yes.
other times I'm like, wow, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
But
It's also awkward, like if someone is like, I cut my finger today, they post that, and then you see them in the grocery store, and you're like, do I say like, how's your finger? Or do I act like I don't know about it? Like, am I going to act like, how have you been? I know every single thing about your life and your kids and your job, but I'm going to pretend like I don't. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah. It's really it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah.
Every day I'm amazed. I'm like, did you see this post? Did you see that post?
Oh, yeah.
And so many, and I will say, there's so many great posts too. I love to hear about, positive things. A lot of the mom ones I follow can be something just like simple advice that ends up turning into. I mean, it can turn into something ugly, but sometimes it's something simple like, oh, where's everyone's favorite place to buy
Sure.
sneakers for their kids?
Right.
And like maybe, or what's like everyone's favorite recipe for this? And it's like just nice positive stuff. Or I've had a really bad day. My child had a temper tantrum in the store. Anyone ever dealt with this?
Yeah.
Like to me, that's like a good use.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have people like, want to talk about like vaccines or something like that. And it never goes well.
No.
It never goes well.
It doesn't.
And it's a shame. And most of the time people are posting that anonymously now, but it still gets really ugly. And I feel bad for these like moderators and admin people. I know you're an admin of a site for moms and women. I'm sure it gets dicey.
It's funny because
Yours is pretty positive. I will say yours of all of them is pretty good.
I try to keep it positive, and that's why it's a Facebook group of it's a private Facebook group. So you have to not know someone to get in, but you have to be invited in the sense that like we want to keep it positive and not keep it, for privacy, for trust, for
a safe space.
a safe space
for the
Thank
people
you.
that want to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like lately. I know we talk about social media a lot,
I know.
and we all use it and we love it. I'm not quite as savvy as the two of you. You two are awesome with stuff. I'm getting better, but I like to share stuff for work if I have like a listing or my team has a listing or maybe I had a great settlement and I want to just like congratulate the client. Like those are the kind of fun things. And like my brother, his kids are a little older and they do have a younger child, but like they are willing to let their kids be on social media. So it's a great place. Like I'll wish them a happy birthday or congrats on this or that. So at least I get to share some kids in my life that I love and adore. And they're on it on social media. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like, then you get like, then on the ugly side of things, you get people just kind of going a little overboard with telling like a lot of personal things. Really personal, almost to the point of like, I think they're, for lack of a better way, I don't know if they're looking for attention or someone just to like make their life better for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it a good place to really solicit deep advice? Or I don't know. Like I don't want to sound judgmental because some people might not have a network of people to talk to and they use that as their social and mental sounding board. But I don't know. I think that lately I've been seeing things.
I do think that
I'm feeling a little too far.
you have to remember that things you put on the internet stay on the internet forever.
Yeah.
Like
It's a hard lesson to learn too if it
Yeah.
is something negative. Yeah. But I think if you ask a question and you want the feedback, I
Yes.
think it's a great way it's a resource that you can use.
But if you want, do you only want to hear what you want to hear?
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
and I think that comes
That's
with
exactly
the
one of the things
fighting
I
as
was
well.
saying.
But like if you ask for advice and I give you my opinion, and then you're like, well, XYZ, you know what I mean? Then we're just fighting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, so I feel like
Yeah, so many times people ask for advice or like recommendations or something like that, and then they don't really want to hear it. And
then
then
there's
it just
an
becomes,
excuse.
I'm like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I can't stop following it. I can't stop reading it, and I have to see where it goes.
Of course.
I'm the worst. I know, and I
I do
will.
the same thing.
And I'm like Jen too. I am. If I could open a detective agent,
You'd be so good. You would be so good.
I need to know.
We will find out
if
where
you put something
live.
out there,
Yeah.
I will find out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll do everything
That's
I
the
can.
FBI.
You
I'm
know
not
what?
kidding.
That is a true story. You are.
I mean, because I just need to know.
But
If
okay.
it's been put out there, because I just need to know
Right.
how it all pans out.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I'm invested.
like I said, there's a lot of TikTok influencers going down with the ship of not being genuine and getting caught in these different things. And if you're on a bigger level, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Big
yes.
influencers. Like if you're putting everything out there, then I think I don't think that anyone owes you an explanation for anything in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah, they can do it. Yeah,
Right.
And you have the freedom.
But if you're making a profit off of people, off of followers or things like that, and you're being
Yeah.
not truthful or trustworthy or whatever, like that's where I have
Issues.
and I think I don't know.
Yeah.
I personally think if you put it all out there, then I should be able to ask you a question and
And
get a
there's-
genuinely
totally.
honest response.
And you
And they can
said-
even say, can I private message you? Like, that's
Because-
fine. But like,
And you said if you're making a profit, that's interesting because that's very true. I mean, there's no guidelines. You could sell whatever you want. You can, there's no like QA that says you can't, like quality assurance that says you can't say this or you can't say that. Like you're just saying it all, and there's no threshold there.
There's this woman, her name is Janelle. She's on TikTok and she promoted for years and years and years keto lifestyle. And then she went on to saying like, hey, keto didn't work for me and now I'm tracking macros. And that was her shtick for the whole last whatever. And now years ago, she had started this macro class. And so it was $200 for this course on how to, I guess, find your macros, whatever. And now it's come out that she's using a GLP-1 and has been lying about it the whole time while making
that's
this
not
profit. And she is going down.
yeah.
And
if
I
you're
agree that
profiting
it's-
and you're like basically covering up something that's a big part of why
Yeah.
you're successful at the thing you're.
Yeah. But why did people are like, well,
Right.
she said that keto didn't work for her, right? So she moved to macros. Why wouldn't she say, well, now I'm trying this different way or
Look,
whatever?
In
And it's
addition
like,
to counting my macros,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
I think that's like the
That's
big
frustrating.
buzzword now
Yeah.
is like GLP-1. Everyone's using it. Everyone's lying about it in my eyes.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell me that you've lost 200 pounds in a month by walking. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to tell me that.
No.
It just.
We're very invested in this topic and
Yeah.
just in health and fitness and wellness and not here to judge, but
No.
like just also we're not like we know.
Well, and I think
Because we
especially
do-
the people that we've known for a really long time, I don't know, but why
Or
is
people
it
you're
all of a
following.
sudden become so, if you're willing to put your whole life out there, why is using something to help you feel better or get healthier, like why is
It's
that
nothing to be ashamed of.
nothing to be
No.
ashamed of?
No, I agree.
It's
I
when
agree.
I don't know.
I agree. Well, you know what else too though? We're all pretty much I think we're kind of open books about stuff.
Sure.
So it might be something that we don't understand because we haven't experienced it,
Yeah.
but we are very open.
Yeah.
So I think
No.
probably for the three of us, it's maybe harder to understand. So, yeah, but I see what you mean, especially
Well-
the profiting thing. That
When it comes
Yeah.
to social media, I mean, you can use it like, basically as a storefront or
Yeah.
you can use it in real life. Like, where's that? Like, are you using it for marketing and sales and all that stuff? Or are you using it just to spill your life?
Yeah.
And I guess you could do both, but in these large influencers do a lot of that. They tell
Right.
you about their life and they talk about what they're selling and all that kind of stuff. But I think on a regular basis, at least on Facebook, I'm following mostly people that are just talking about real life and what they've got going on. And I think, when it's funny story. A couple years back, I was posting a lot when it was like truly what is the question Facebook asked you? Like,
Oh.
what are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Or
What's on your mind?
Yeah.
What's on your mind? And
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
like post a picture of a sandwich, whatever.
Yeah.
And then like, I
A chocolate
would
chip cookie.
try to post every day,
What's on my mind?
I'm always thinking about Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
No.
Does anyone
I
have
wish
any?
I
I'm
did.
starving. But anyway, but someone like actually asked a friend, is Jen okay? And I'm like, because you don't really know how you come off. Like
Yeah.
you're just spilling, and I'm like,
That's another thing. That's true.
and then it
That's
definitely
true.
changed the way I post and like, all right, let me be a little bit more
Yeah.
thoughtful in what I'm putting out there.
But I do
Right.
miss the days where Facebook was like, it was more simple. It was simpler.
Yeah, it was.
When it says what's on your
was-
mind, you might like I would put like what's on your mind, and I'd be like, oh, going out to dinner tonight with my friends. That's on my mind. Like
and there
something
weren't
like
really like a ton of pictures. Like it was
Yeah.
just these like random. I should pull up my face. I love to go back and look at like your Facebook memories.
Oh, it
sometimes
cracks
I'm
me
mortified by things that I would put out there 10, 15
I'm
years
actually
ago.
annoyed with some things I put out there. I'm like,
Let me see. if
like
can
I just was
keep
such
talking.
I'm like that was just so lame. Some of the things.
I don't
Well,
think
but
I know
like-
how to look
okay.
at that.
Just
How do you
silly.
look at that?
But like back in the day, it was I don't know. It was I don't know.
it was
Cool.
different. It was less it was less serious, let's put it that way. It
Yes.
was less serious
Yes.
and more about fun and connecting with like, your 8th grade boyfriend. You guys, come on. You all did that too right now? No?
Oh no, I honestly the best.
Yes, come
one of the
on.
best things to happen from Facebook was connecting with like a lot of my college friends.
Totally. I mean, like, just,
Because
Yes.
like and
Your friends
you have
in
your good friends that you
elementary.
already were connected with, but then like maybe like that next tier of like friends that you still think about, but you just like lost touch. You don't know what happened to them. I mean, it's awesome.
yeah. And that was what we used it
absolutely
for.
love that.
So I
of it.
connected. I mean, I was friends with Joe on Facebook. So we went to school together when we were little kids, and then our mutual friend like reconnected us. But like I was like when Facebook came about, it was like, oh, I found Colleen, and then it's like a list of people you may know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's Joe Vosi.
That's
There's
what
so-and-so.
I love
And so
that.
Joe and I were friends on Facebook for many
Oh,
years
really?
before
I don't
like.
think I realized that
Yeah.
you had that history.
And then when we met was how we met was I had a party. Colleen came and she said, "I'm going to bring Joe. Do you remember Joe Vosi?" And I'm like, kind of. I mean, I was 7. I don't know. And that was
Fast
it.
forward.
But we were friends. So like again, he knew all my
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I knew all because from seeing all.
That's the fun thing, like connecting with like, your 7 years old, your best
Yeah.
friend
Yeah.
when you were
Yeah.
7, or like
Oh,
your
gosh,
first,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
crush, or like just to say hello, like how you
Yeah.
guys doing, just because
love
they're
that.
such part of your childhood. And
Yeah.
like I wouldn't see a lot of people in my like elementary school unless we saw each other on Facebook. So I love it for
Yeah.
that.
I same. I do too.
16 years ago, my Facebook memories. I got to sleep in.
Oh, that sounds phenomenal.
I was loving the weather.
Uh,
I was tanning, drinking, and hanging out with my favorite people.
I like that.
So like things.
Life was simple
April
back then.
25th, 2009. Does anyone besides Santa live in the North Pole? That's what I put.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. Like, I mean,
Have you
The
gotten
elves.
the answer to that?
the
one?
elves.
Did anyone say?
Somebody said Mrs. Claus. What about
Yeah.
the elves? Why do
Yeah.
you ask?
Okay. Okay.
But like, I mean, silly things. That kind of stuff is.
But that was the fun of it
Cringeworthy.
all. Like at the
Yes.
beginning of it, like, oh my gosh, connecting from people you haven't seen, putting things like that and
Yeah.
having fun. And now it's
I
like,
And
would
it's also
never
a
do
great
that
way,
now.
like I just had my high school reunion, to put because you can't possibly have everyone's address or like how to share it. So if everyone follows the like our alumni page, then they'll find out about the the reunion. Now some people will be like, I wasn't invited, and I'm like, well, you have to follow the alumni page,
Right.
But it's a good way to spread the word about certain things that maybe you wouldn't be able to reach everybody. I feel like that's kind of cool.
well, can we talk a little bit about the side of like the addiction side of it?
Well, addiction
huge.
and another part of it too. I wanted to say like that we mentioned the word exploitation, and just like a lot of these young teens, some of the things they're doing, and it's and I think part of it is the addiction of it is. I mean, being behind that screen, the attention, but like, and I have my older son is 15. He is not. I won't let him have an account on Instagram yet. He asks me all the time, and I'm just like, and Facebook and stuff. It's just like, I don't know. I see, and he doesn't have TikTok either. I'm a mean mom.
No,
But
you're not.
a lot of times I see like more so with young girls, like doing like these certain dances and like in these outfits. And I told they're cute as buttons, but like sometimes it gets a little much. And I'm like, huh. But then I think, they're probably addicted to it's like endorphin rush, right?
Yeah, like a dopamine hit.
Dopamine or whatever. So, now having you have older kids.
Right.
Did you see a lot of did you ever have to lay down the law or those kind of things going on?
I know that,
Or do you have strict rules like you're not doing this? Okay.
I think I had stricter rules with my first child. By the time I got to number 3,
Okay.
there were no rules. But I think not necessarily there are no rules. There are rules to a degree, but I will say this. Having a younger child and an older child, it was very different because nowadays these young children communicate by text. They set up play dates by text. Like
social
my
scene
daughter's
is all
birthday
via
party
text.
was all through text. Like I wasn't even involved in it. She just turned 13. So it's just interesting. So do you want your kid to be the kid without the social media or without the way to communicate? I don't know where it falls, but with Maya, my oldest, it wasn't so. I don't know. It wasn't so prominent. We still called the parent and said, "Hey, can your daughter come over?" And
she's at the age it was just kind of maybe starting.
It was
to get
just
a
starting,
little...
because my youngest was in elementary during COVID. They had iPads in second grade, so they were communicating that way. So she's grown up with
and the addiction started.
Yeah,
because...
like my middle guy still on the cusp of being older, like my oldest, and not using it as much. But my youngest,
like if I punish my kids and say you can't go on your tablet, and my oldest has a phone, my youngest has a tablet. I mean, not good. Like and I can tell by their reaction, there's an addiction there. So we had to put time limit per day.
Yeah.
For them. Now, I mean, some kids maybe aren't as bad. I don't know, but like we had to, and in schools you cannot have your phone. At least at my kids' schools, you cannot have the phone out or anything. So I know those hours, at least they're not on it. But yeah, I mean, and I won't say, and I'm not going to say it's just kids. I mean, I'm on my phone
all the time.
I'll admit it, and like I'll try to go through phases where I put it down, and then I'm like, it's the minute I hear a text come through, I'm like, ooh, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know what it's like to have that. I know what they're going through when they, in the sense of like you're taking away their main form of communication when they're not with their friends at school.
When I've taken it away, I have seen a huge difference in my kids. Like when I'm like, you guys give me the phone, like it's, you're done with it. If we're on vacation, I can see a huge difference in how my kids communicate with me personally. Like they're talking to me, we are having a conversation. Like it's so different. And I don't think they realize how much power they have when they have this in their hand with what they can put out there. And that scares me a lot.
My husband always says the main problem right now, like with just kids in general. And he always like,
it's a true story.
And I mean, it really is. And like I said, like, I'm not in a rush. I don't know if my son would be doing like dances or I don't know what he was doing on Instagram, but like, I when I see some of what teens put out, like, or like destroying property, things like that, doing things that like are like not cool.
And you don't realize how this will follow
and
you.
Other kids find it entertaining though.
Right.
So therefore, that's why they want to do it. So it's a tough thing.
Like I could go down the rabbit hole of, and I'm sure this is how the kids feel following kids that are either doing good stuff, best or whatever. Like I could go down the rabbit hole of just watching somebody like write like with a marker. That's so calming to me.
Some stuff's like satisfying.
Like, yeah. And there's somebody, like I could just watch somebody, even when I worked in the schools and we would go to art or like wherever and somebody was writing on the board. I'm like, it's just like instant. I'm really into this girl who makes cake pops on TikTok because her voice is very like so soothing and just like, so I can see as a 41-year-old woman.
Right.
How quickly you can spiral. And I can't imagine having kids.
Of course, my kids always follow stuff that
throw it off.
That's like they want like there's products like this kid just got these sneakers or they're like promoting different products or whatever, and it's like it's a business too. So there's this need that they want all the things.
Yeah.
They
Well,
want
someone
all
would
the
send me
things.
share a TikTok, and they would send it to me, and then I I would look at it, and next thing you know, it's 3 hours later. I'm like still scrolling.
Yeah,
just
it
from
leads one leads to another.
I
leads to
know.
another. So anyway, but again, like we said in the beginning of the episode, we could probably and we may bring this topic up again because this is just kind of touching the surface here.
But I think the moral of the story is don't put anything that you don't want Steph finding out about or
That-
questioning you about
Yes,
on
and,
social media.
and don't be vague, please.
If you go to the hospital, just tell us why.
just
Yeah.
tell us
We
what's
need
going
all the
on.
Send
details.
us like a photo or post a photo of like, are you in traction?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
What?
you okay? And I mean,
We, we want to know. I don't know. When you say you go to the hospital, you'd be like,
I
you
mean,
chopped your
yeah.
finger off or like your
Like-
legs hanging off. Like, why put it out there if you, why?
and if
That's
if you
true.
have some good news to share, don't just tell me you have good news to share. It's coming soon.
Tell
Just-
us.
Just tell us. I mean, come on.
Tell
I
us.
know.
I can't do
As
this.
soon as you pee on that stick, tell us you're pregnant.
Yeah.
But don't do a video
Immediately.
for us to see it. We just want
No,
to
no.
Yeah,
And
or,
when I
or don't share at all that you're taking
yeah,
the test
right.
because I need to know how it comes out.
and when I said that I don't like to see little kids melting down on the internet, I post Moose all the time when he's melting down. So I guess that's hypocritical, but I don't know.
He's
Post
ex-
your kids,
he's
post them
extra
cute. You know, just when they're having a moment. I don't think
Yeah.
you should.
All right. Well, that's our words of wisdom today
That's it.
on social media and how we feel about it. We'd love to hear kind of your experiences, how you feel about it. And, you know, again, we think it's a great tool and we love sharing things with all of you on social media. And
Share our stuff.
Yeah.
Go
Yes.
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, Instagram.
Yeah. If you're going to share things, share stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, we thank you so much for your time and listening. 3 Girls, 1 Office, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.